Yo, shalom, shalom. Just want to get all praises through the spirit and power of Yahweh 𝐻𝄍. Shalom, shalom. I just wanted to go through some things and just see what y'all thought, man. The conversation got to be had at some point. But anyways, I wanted to deal with some things real quick and just go through some stuff, right? Let's go through some things. Dealing with the scriptures. We all know it, man. We all know what's going on. Just dealing with Christ real quick. I want to get John 1:1 real quick and just see what y'all think of this real quick. Let's see. Take this real quick. So we got here we go right here. In the beginning, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, right? Now, all right, that's a pretty self-explanatory. This is saying, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. That's interesting, right? So let's go to the book of Genesis. Right? So when you're in Genesis, right, it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, right? So in the beginning, God created the heavens and he created the earth. So we know we're dealing with Allah, right? So we dealing with a sense of more than one here, because we know that dealing with the earth being fashioned says, let us make man in our image. That's pretty interesting, right? Now, again, in the beginning was the Word, right? Look at this again, because I'm about to get the Hebrew. It says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, right? So the Word was God. Let's get that real quick. So look, what's interesting about that idea is that you're dealing with ba, when you're dealing with the bar or ba, because you got the ra right here, bara, you're dealing with sun. So you're dealing with the ba is dealing with house, tabernacle, or temple, right? In. Then you got the ra, which is dealing like with a person, right? Like highest of a most important, right? And then you got the which is the ox, going into the divine nature of the whole creator. You got strength, or you dealing with God, right? So-called God, right? That's what you're dealing with here. So right here, so this word is bara shayath, which is beginning. That's what this word dealing with. So when you're dealing with John 1:1, it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. That's exactly what this is demonstrating right here. As soon as you deal with bara shayath, you're dealing with Son, right? You're dealing with Creator, omniscience, strength, right? Godhead, right? Then if you have these two just together, ash, you're dealing with fire, power, ash, right? Power. Then you got the yah, right? So the hand is dealing with like work, activity, which also is going into life and deed. But what's so interesting about this deed, you got the tha, which exactly is identified with the cross, But what's so interesting about the th, that th goes into this. This sign literally means perfection, cross, and covenant, truth, and or sign. This is literally all that Christ was. So you got son, right? You got also Salaki. I meant to break down the Shah. The Shah is also dealing with the destruction or to consume. So you got so this is what you got. You got son, father, consume, right? Or to destroy with hand, with his own hand, right? As you can see, or work or an activity to do so by a what? Cross or what? Sign or what? Covenant or what? Promise. That's exactly what you're dealing with here. You're dealing with basically the Son through Yahweh being consumed, brought back up by the same hand as a covenant and promise. Bara Shayath, all in one word, right? Now, what's so interesting about it, let me read it again. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Now, all this is literally demonstrating the same thing in the Hebrew, Bara Shayath. Son, Father, consume, same hand connected to the Son and Father being in one as a promise and covenant. This is before and after, outside of time, because when you even deal with and what I mean by that is this: when you deal with the Hebrew language, and you deal with the ox, right? That's the first one of the alphabet, and then you got the ba. So what you dealing with, that's the 10th. So what you dealing with? So like it can be wrote either way, right? As long as you got the 10th. You dealing with Father, Abba. This is the same title that it be attributed to who? Christ. The title, the same title that's brought in the same way when you deal with the beginning. Bara Ashayath. The same thing we see right here. That's pointing to Genesis 1:1. In the beginning was the Word. That's a fact. And the Word was with God. We literally see that here. And the Word was God. We literally see that here. This is the same hand from the same body. Son, strength, Father, destroyed by the same hand as a covenant and promise. We literally see that. Then we know in the first characters of the alphabet, we see in Abba, the same Abba title that's attributed to Christ, right? Now, what else is so interesting about that? When you go to Isaiah 46:10, it says, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times, it's like from ancient times, the things that are not yet done, saying my counsel shall stand, I will do all my pleasure. Right? So what does that mean? The end being declared from the beginning, that's the same word. Right? Because it's being declared. In the beginning was the Word. Who's doing the declaring? Christ. How do we know that? Because Colossians 1:16 exclusively says, for by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be in heaven and let me see. It's hard to get this focus on here. I'm trying to see this at the same time. All right, let me start that over right there. Okay, it says 16. Yeah, it says For by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions, or principalities of powers. All things were created by him and for him. Right? So this is literally talking about Christ, man. So that's just that's just interesting. That's just interesting. And it says who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature. Right? So this is the same Christ that's the same image of the invisible God. He can only be the image of the invisible God if he was born into this earth to be that. Carrying that back here. In the beginning was the Word. So this is the same Word that was in the beginning. Having to be the image of the invisible God. Of this same Word, 𝐤𝐄𝐄𝐄𝐿. So I guess to get an understanding of that 1 John 1:1, in the beginning was the Word, right? Dealing with that context and layer, we'll have to, I guess, getting an understanding of what these words are meaning would be very important to that context matter. Because what do you do with Son, Father? You got sacrifice. One would say Christ was sacrificed from the foundations of the earth. By his hand. Now, who is his hand? His hand would have to be the same Son. Right? The hand would have to be, or going back to the same body. Self. As a covenant and promise. I mean, what do we do with that? But I don't know, man. Tell me what y'all think. Shalom.